Filters for Families is a community-based, long-term solution to the problem of arsenic contamination in the villages of Nepal. Nepal's Himalayan mountains offer some of the most stunning vistas on Earth. Unfortunately, these mountains are also home to natural deposits of arsenic, a poisonous element that contaminates groundwater throughout the region. American geologist Dr. Linda Smith was teaching and conducting research in Nepal when one of her students introduced her to the small farming community of Kunuwar. Its residents face the country's highest groundwater arsenic levels. Many of the village's wells show arsenic levels of 700 to 900 parts per billion, with some water measuring more than 1,000 parts per billion. These levels vastly exceed the World Health Organization drinking water standard of 10 parts per billion. Smith was moved by villagers' problems and frustrated by outsiders' inadequate attempts at a long-term solution. She founded Filters for Families and opened an office in a town nearby. Arsenic is a slow-acting poison. Symptoms worsen with continual exposure. Keratosis, the hardening of skin on the hands and feet, is a common symptom that can take years to progress to fatal cancers or gangrene. This Kunuwar man, with extreme keratosis on his feet, had been drinking arsenic-laced water for 21 years. However, with properly filtered water and vitamins to combat malnutrition, which can exacerbate arsenic poisoning, victims can recover and live healthy lives. On the left is a 10-year-old girl with keratosis covering her hands and feet. On the right is the same girl, her keratosis receding after 5 months of vitamins and arsenic-free water. It's crucial to start these interventions before the health effects become irreversible. Villagers were frustrated by various NGO workers who came, tested the water and their health, and left without sharing the information they gathered. Other outsiders tried to help, but donated filters that were slow, difficult to assemble, and easily broken. This filter, for example, simply couldn't filter enough water fast enough to be useful for a family of 4. Smith recognized that the villagers had to be involved for any solution to succeed. Over the course of several months, she took time to get to know the community and developed the Filters for Families model in partnership with the people she wanted it to serve. The group conducted workshops on arsenic poisoning, partnered with local, trusted nonprofits, trained families to use new filters, and created a sustainable system for purchasing and maintaining filters in the long term. They opened permanent offices where people could report problems with the filters and expect to be treated fairly and with dignity. Filters for Families currently uses the Sono filter, which is the smallest, lightest, and easiest to maintain filter available. They created a buyback program where villagers can return their older biosand filters to receive a Sono filter. Villages are asked to contribute to the cost of the filters in order to ensure a sense of ownership in the decision to filter their water. Even the poorest households can buy filters by bartering hand-woven baskets. Here, a mother of 3 children, all with symptoms of arsenic poisoning, gives Smith a hand-woven basket in exchange for a filter. Within 2 years, all of Kunuwar was drinking arsenic-free water. When Smith returned to the village after a year away, she found the children there so improved that she didn't recognize them. Smith wrote, "Gone were the blank stares, runny noses, lethargic walks. Instead, there was life. Happiness, playing, chatter, and inquisitiveness. We are offering life." A training program is another key aspect of the project's success. Filters for Families hires and trains local employees to install and check on filters. Families know that they can depend on these workers to properly fix filters and minimize their arsenic exposure. Over more than 10 years providing filters in Nepal, Filters for Families has installed thousands of filters in hundreds of villages. International volunteers also offer workshops in gardening, nutrition and quilting, children's science and art camps, and a radio program to disseminate health information. Perhaps most promising is that the residents in Filters for Families communities are now active participants in solving their own problems. Smith is now bringing the Filters for Families model from Nepal back to the United States. In their first domestic water quality project, Filters for Families is working with a team from George Mason University to adapt a water filter to address drinking water contamination on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in South Dakota. They hope this sustainable, community-based model can reap health benefits for this and other communities for years to come.